What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So rents are about to be hit with inflation, and this is something that we haven't seen for some time, and I want to give you a little bit of a warning, explain what's going on and why there may not be any relief for renters coming up. So here's what we know. Rents are finally starting to increase, and this is great if you're a landlord and you own homes and you have real estate, but it's bad for those 44.1 million households that currently rent their home, and this is not welcoming news. What we are currently seeing, we are currently sitting at an inflation rate of 7.5%. That's staggering to most people. However, rents today just jumped by 12% on a month-over-month basis. But here's the craziest news. The craziest news of all is the latest CPI report is saying that housing and shelter only accounts for 4.5% inflation. That's it, right? Not bad, because the American people, we're seeing a raise in wages of over 8%. So really housing costs less, right? Well, no, because we just saw housing jump by 12%. But here's something that's very interesting. What this means is that inflation for housing hasn't actually caught up yet. We're not seeing inflation from housing and rent. This isn't even priced in to the CPI reports. So what the CPI report is saying is technically a little bit behind. It's lagging. And what makes matters even worse, shelter makes up almost 1/3 of the basket for CPI inflation. How insane is that? That something that holds a third of the weight of the CPI report, a third of the weight is not even being accurately reported. So we're going to see what happens, because we have to wait almost a month. We have to wait almost a month for the CPI report for February. Remember, it comes out in March. So we're going to see what happens there. But if these numbers are any indicator, inflation is going to go up even higher. So if you're a renter, here's what experts are currently recommending. They say now is the best time to get locked into a long-term lease. They recommend locking in a lease so that you don't succumb to your landlord. That's what they're saying. Now, even though this is bad enough, let me explain what else is happening right now. Again, this isn't great news. This isn't going to be the most uplifting video. I just want to be honest with you guys as to what we are seeing moving forward. So here's what I can tell you. Eviction bans are coming to an end. And as they come to an end, more and more evictions are happening. We are seeing foreclosures starting to pick up. Bankruptcies are starting to tick up as well. This isn't great news. We also know, according to multiple reports, multiple financial experts are saying that savings from the American people has slowed. During the beginning of the pandemic, the American people were saving money more than any other time. We were seeing stimulus from the federal government. This was coming as a stimulus check, unemployment benefits, expanded nutrition assistance. We saw healthcare being covered, or at least major subsidies for that, right? We were seeing a lot of stuff. Rental assistance, right? We saw that you couldn't, if you didn't have the ability to pay a mortgage, right? You could actually get mortgage forbearance. And so you didn't have to make a payment for up to about, 18 months, right? Insane amount of stimulus. But there's no additional stimulus coming from the federal government. Now states, as they are starting to run out of rental assistance, and again, they're shutting down programs left and right. I know here in Washington State, I think it was Seattle or King County, they were pretty much going to shut down their rental assistance program because they're running out of money. I think it was Minnesota is another one, right? There's a bunch of different states running out of money, don't have any more money, so they're going to close down the programs. They're not going to get more money into it. They're just going to shut it down. So anybody that is left still needing assistance, well, you're out of luck. And right now, here's another thing that you may not really understand or haven't completely grasped yet. But as interest rates increase, not go up too high too soon, but as they increase, chances are your landlord, if they haven't done so already, they're going to refinance and maybe pull money out of their property. If they do this, they would most likely try to offset their rents, increase the cost of their rents to offset their costs. Now, that means you will have to pay more. But if that wasn't enough, here's another issue. Lumber prices are continuing to go up once again, which means the cost of building a new home has risen by about $18,600 for one home. Cost of a multifamily home adds about $7,300 per unit, which means that on average, the cost just for the person owning the mortgage, the cost associated with this increase in price would be about $67 per month. But guess what? Your landlord is not going to just charge you an additional $67 per month if that's what it costs them. No, they're probably going to charge you $80 to $100 extra per month because it costs them about $7,300 extra per unit to make that multi-family apartment building. So it's not great news. Here's the other issue. And this is one of the biggest issues. Okay, and let me just break this down and let me know if you've come across this. Here's what's happening. You rent an apartment, let's say it's just too expensive. Your landlord decides, you know what, I'm going to charge an extra $250. So instead of paying $1,400, or let's just say instead of paying, $1,300, they're going to charge you an extra $200, so $1,500 every single month. Okay, an extra $200 per month, $50 per week. Well, that's getting a little steep. What if you just don't want to pay it? Well, you can decide to not sign an additional lease, not extend it, and you move out. Okay? So that's what a lot of people are doing. Here's the problem. This is why renting in some cases is even harder than buying. Because when you go and rent, you have to have the right credit history, right? You can't have any bad marks on your employment or your rental history, right? That's not great. And potentially the toughest part of all this is when it comes to putting down a deposit for a security deposit for any damages. Maybe you need a pet deposit because you have a dog or a cat or maybe a goldfish. Who knows? Some landlords want a pet deposit for a goldfish. Then you got your first month and your last month's rent. Now, let's say it was $1,500 and the security deposit is 1 month. The first month, you got the last month. It's $1,500 a piece. That's what, $4,500. And then you got to put money down and pay for a credit and a background check. Well, maybe that comes up to an additional $100, right? Okay. So all in, you need about $4,600. If somebody was struggling to pay an additional $200 per month, how easy is it going to be for them to come up with an additional $4,600 up front? It's going to be very difficult. That's the issue. That's what we're facing right now, is there's too many issues. Too many. So here's what I can tell you. If you are worried about renting, experts are saying the best thing to do right now is to lock yourself into a long-term lease. That's going to be the key. Lock it in so that your landlord can't increase the price. They can't. Okay. Could they kick you out? Yes, you could be enticed out, right? But if let's say they want to sell the property, right? Could they tell you you got to go? Well, technically under lease, no. You're going to be there for the term of your lease, and then when it's up, you'll move out. So that's the thing that experts are saying is right now, if you are wondering what's going to happen with housing and rents, and is there going to be a place for you to live? If you're not sure and you're worried, lock it in now. Okay. So that's just what I wanted to provide you with, a little bit of an update on what we're seeing regarding rents. In some areas, in some areas of the country, we are seeing out-of-town buyers pay up to 30% more for the same properties in the same area, simply because they're coming from out of town, from a more expensive place to a less expensive place. And when they're there, you think they buy the same type of property? No, they overspend for something a little bit bigger, a little bit better because they have the money, which causes more issues in that area and it increases rents. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.